welcome back to another Second Age show. Today is a big one with one, possibly two, maybe two scoops for you guys today. Maybe we'll do it big for the community, for the fandom. As always on the panel, we're going to start from my left to right with Strider. How's it going, buddy?
Hey man, I am especially excited to be here. I think it's gonna make this episode is gonna make one person here very happy, and I'm here for the ride, man.
I'm hoping it's going to make everybody here happy. Hen.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Viking. Hi.
It's late at night where Hen is, but he's here supporting us, and I always appreciate that. Cathy, looking with the beautiful blue dress. Is there like a particular reason you're rocking blue today?
Oh, you mean why we are color coordinated? Well, people will find out if they stay with us. So please watch the show.
And the man that's going to be behind the scenes in a moment, but is on the foreground here all the way to my right, our leader, Harry.
Hello, thank you, Vok, and I'm really excited for today's episode and to hear you guys discuss it, especially you. And all I want to say before I go is that to make sure to check out the Discord. It's the top link in the description. And yeah, enjoy, guys.
And while he's backed away, and I still have a little bit of goosebumps going on for what we're about to drop for the community, I have to take you guys through memory lane for just a moment. A little while back in one of our videos that you can probably find, we had more or less confirmed that the character of Narvi, the dwarf, would be making an appearance in Season 2. And we were pretty confident we knew what that meant in terms of the kind of scenes he's going to shoot, who he's going to be around. But we weren't sure who could possibly be playing him. And let's just go ahead and get right into the very first scoop here, which is that the dwarf Narvi and friend of Celebrimbor will be played by Kevin Eldon in The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Season 2. And for me, I was not expecting him to be Narvi. We had a look at some of the cast, and I was not 100% sure, but I had a good idea of who I thought it would be. But this lad that y'all see on screen right now, who has comedic chops, and is also currently playing on the Apple TV show Hijack. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty good. He was not my pick for Narvi, but then once we had discovered this, I'm ultra excited to see what he can do. Strider, what are your thoughts, brother?
Well, first of all, I'm happy we have Narvi's casting confirmed. That's fantastic news. He was one of the characters everybody was looking forward to seeing here, and I love it. Also, this is a neat little trick we have here happening, so we can see his IMDb, and he had quite a bit of roles behind him.
He's been in a lot.
A lot of TV, I see. Like, not a lot of cinema, but a lot of TV. And a lot of comedy, I'm told. Like a comedian. So,
Yeah,
he was in some nerdy stuff, like, Shadow and Bone, Doctor Who, The Last Kingdom. I think I saw something else above. That's pretty cool that he has, and it seems like he has, all around experience, which is pretty cool.
Good.
And for those that did not see The Last Kingdom, it's one of the best shows I've seen in quite some time. So for him to have, I think it said he was a part of 8 episodes in there. He's no rookie to the scene. He's going to hold
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody talks about Game of Thrones. What is that?
It's a thing. It's
And the Red Dwarf. Let's go.
Hey, and it's 8.4,
poetic.
highly rated. I'm about to go check it out.
That's poetic. Yeah.
Hen, is this kind of who you had in mind playing Narvi in Season 2?
I did not. No, we had a look. You're right. We had a couple of people. I think more than anything, kind of the facial features lended themselves to being dwarves, and dwarves are made with a fair amount of prosthetics, so it's not difficult to necessarily turn somebody into a dwarf. But we were like looking at the cast, and we were like, oh, that guy looks more like a dwarf. So that was our main cue until this point.
One of the things I talked to the showrunners about was that I was concerned, based on previous works of Lord of the Rings and Tolkien on screen, that the dwarves were going to be very comedic and not have enough seriousness to them. And
I mean, they are very comedic in this, but yeah.
They are, but it's for all the crap people give the writers sometimes. I feel like the dwarves were written very well, acted very
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
It was timed properly, and it didn't seem overly comedic. And to have Kevin Eldon come in with his great comedic background, I think that maybe through the use of comedy, because we already have a more serious story with Durin, Disa, and Daddy Durin, that maybe they'll use more of his comedic chops for season 2 to kind of give you a contrast from the seriousness of the other dwarven storyline.
yeah.
Cathy, are you excited
Yes.
for Kevin Eldon as Narvi?
Well, you know what? I mean, like you guys covered it all, and especially with the Internet Movie Database, filmography. But I want to say that scoops about actors, like characters that actors that are announced are playing are becoming my favorite scoops, because I've noticed from different platforms and social media that fans really don't like that they don't know who new actors are playing. And I understand that because it puts the whole speculation to disadvantage. You can't speculate what's going to happen in the next season if you don't know which characters are in and who plays them. So when we get those scoops, like Celeborn or Narvi, I'm very happy for fans because I know that they're happy. Like, okay, like finally we have a face to canon character name. Like we know that the canon character is going to be on the show. Like so. Yeah, I mean, like this is a great scoop. This is a great moment.
And for folks who do enjoy the whole trying to guess who is playing who, the more actors that we know, I feel like the easier it gets to whittle down who might be playing who that's left of the announced cast and the roles that we know are coming up, which is also exciting for a lot of people. I also predicted this, by the way. If you could look back through my Twitter at one point, the Rings of Power was doing some, announcing this person's on the cast, this person's on the cast. And I asked if he was a dwarf on Twitter, and I said, don't lie to me, bro. But he never wrote back, but I feel like he wanted to, and that's the important thing. And obviously, if Narvi is going to be a part of the show, and he's going to play a big role with being around Celebrimbor, we are going to have to see the doors of Durin. We're going to have to see them built. And we can go ahead and confirm for people today that with 100% certainty, based on our scoop work, that the doors of Durin are 100% being built during season 2. We will see it start to finish. Big blue, glowy, speak friend and enter Celebrimbor, Narvi, just dwarven, elven magic coming together on our big screens. And this is very, very exciting for me. And I can't wait to see, especially with today's technology, how beautiful of a door. Look at the art on the screen. It's just amazing, like the type of artwork people can make. But look at the two of them. You can tell even here the type of great friendship that they're about to have. That might be short-lived on the show, but ultimately the important thing is that we are getting Narvi, and ideally, hopefully, he can be a catalyst of ushering people into feeling, for Charles Edwards as Celebrimbor before ultimately, we know what's coming. But for that to be a big moment, you have to care about the character, and hopefully having Narvi here will help us achieve that and get to that point. Strider, let's go back to you and just look at that. Look at that. Dwarf, don't lie to me, bro. And only 10 of y'all liked it at the time. Nailed it. Now in secret, did I do that to every person who got announced? Yes. Yes, I did do that. But I found this screenshot to help out with that. Strider, are you excited to see the doors built?
Yeah, speak friend and enter, my dude. I'm very happy that we are. So everyone was looking forward to seeing Celebrimbor. He is one of the biggest names that we were supposed to see in the show that we haven't seen in some shape or form in the movies, and he felt like he was lacking some things. There's a lot of reasons for that. Probably the biggest one is that there was a recast happening very early on in the production and so on. So he probably was slighted in that sense that he had to has some of his scenes rewritten and so on. So getting this in the second season, getting his BFF here is great news because, as you said, we can get to know Celebrimbor more through his friendship. Also, we're getting another iconic elf and dwarf friendship, which is awesome, and it's always a really cool dynamic because if you go out for a really cool meal, you want to eat like something, like a hot dog or a pizza or whatever, and then after that you want to eat something sweet, and it's like this duality that makes things
I
awesome.
didn't have something sweet.
You're
I
about
only
to,
had the hot dog and the pizza.
yeah. After this, you gotta get something sweet, exactly. So to get the dwarf and an elf together and have some cool dynamic there, do some bro stuff. I'm hoping that this duo will give Elrond and Durin probably the best duo of season 1 by far. A run for their money. That's what I'm hoping for.
Now, before I move on to Hen and ask him the same question here, do you think artistically, because the door is ultra iconic, not just amongst dwarf fans, but many casual fans know what the door looks like, do you think they're going to try to get it as close to possible as what we've already seen on screen, or do you think they're going to have their own take on the door?
Yeah, I think that they will try to get it as close as possible because that's one of the few pieces of artwork that you actually get in the books.
Yes.
Basically, that's the only one I had in my book, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
There are some illustrated. There's a lot of illustrated versions now, but generally that's the one you get. That's the one I think that Tolkien did himself.
It's from Tolkien, yeah.
Yeah. So you just take that, just paste it on the screen, make it artistic, give us the artistic process behind it. But that's it. That's what we want to get.
Yeah. The kind of copyright situation that they have with other designs doesn't really apply here because it's a design of Tolkien's own, except for completely by chance. I was watching Fellowship of the Ring a few nights ago. I noticed they actually, and it's the same design on the Bakshi film and everything as well, but on the Fellowship of the Ring, they tweaked it a little bit so the columns have that kind of dwarven look, and the crown especially has that very almost cubistic kind of look as opposed to what it does here. So I'm assuming they won't do that. They'll probably do the book illustration version. Yeah. The thing I'm wondering though, the real question I think is not the design, is will it be in the same spot that we see the doors that are already there? You know what I'm saying?
The ones that they shut on Elrond?
Yeah, those doors.
On Celebrimbor.
Yeah,
actually, ironically enough, when they shut the doors on Celebrimbor.
Yeah, no, and then on Elrond though, Barking's right. On episode, I want to say 7, Elrond gets shoved outside.
Okay, sure, yeah. But I mean, they first left Celebrimbor in front of the doors. They didn't let him in. That's what I was getting at.
So that place, which is, it's sort of, it's a place in New Zealand. It's Enslow Burn, also known as the High Fells of Rudor, but in the show it's the Walls of Moria, the Walls of Khazad-dûm, and it's a set with a composite, so they can use it if they want to. I'm just very curious to see if they will.
Yeah, Cathy, what about you? Are you excited for the doors? It's something that I think there's a lot of it's iconic. Is this something that you think regular people, also lore purists, are going to get excited about, or do you think this is kind of like a meh type thing to add to the show? Cathy?
Okay, first, I have to say that those blue glowing doors are the reason why you and I are in blue today. So that now everyone knows the secret. And as for the door itself, well, it's hard to say I mean, like, and speculate about the door itself, right? Like this character, he makes a door, and that's pretty much what he's famous for. But the show is a show, so they're going to use some imagination and obviously give some story to it. Like it's not going to be just okay, they made the door and that's it. Like, and I personally am intrigued because in Fellowship of the Ring, like Moria section is one of my favorite parts of the movie. So when I think of this door, of that door, I think of Moria and everything that's like how majestic it is, like that Moria theme, music theme, and of course, like all the action that goes on, including Balrog. So I think that, like it's going to be something, like I see that you guys are like shaking your head. Okay, so I'm saying something wrong,
Anti
whatever.
Balrog.
No, okay. It's just
Whatever,
Valkyrie
because
is
of
a
Balrog,
Okay, whatever. I
Continue.
mean, like I said, like that's what makes this scoop interesting to me. But if I'm totally off base, what can I say? Like I'm not an expert like you
No,
guys.
no,
So
no, no, no. You were great. We just don't want the dwarves to die. So we
Yeah,
were
we
like,
were just giving you crap for talking about Balrogs.
yeah, all good. You were perfect. Just
well,
continue.
they put him in season 1, so
Yeah,
they
they
have to,
did.
like,
Yeah, the
use him
setup is
somewhere.
there. I
Like, I
agree.
don't
Yeah.
know if he's going to be used in season 2, but the door doesn't have to be used in season 2. Like beyond being made. Like they're going to
Yeah.
have 5 seasons, right? Like so, whenever like they use the door for like whatever like to keep him out, to keep him in, or like keep other people in and out. Like so. Yeah, I mean, like they have 4 more seasons, so we'll see what happens.
Ideally, for me, it would be really cool and exciting if Celebrimbor through Narvi is given the opportunity to craft something amazing on screen that fans can get excited about, that he's not more or less tricked into, kind of like the Rings, where Halbrand had to be like, I mean, have you tried mixing some stuff together? And he's like, oh, how did I not already? We don't have to trick him into doing the door, but there's got to be some reason for it. And hopefully that plays out well. But again, to me, like having Narvi here is my biggest hope that people will be able to really enjoy Celebrimbor in season 2 and get us attached before his ultimate, spoiler alert, banner moment later on in probably what's coming in this season.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. So, what I've been saying this since the first season started. We don't have enough time in this show. So,
correct.
The things I'm always worried about are, and I'll probably be worried until the show is done in like a few years. Will we get time to get attached to the people in the way we are supposed to get attached to them? Because, for example, in the first season we had so many original characters, and Celebrimbor was one of the characters that we didn't get attached to, and we are supposed to care for him a lot by the end of the second season. So that's the same question for Narvi. He's a dwarf.
Yeah.
He's cool. He's gonna do some really cool stuff on screen, hopefully. He's supposed to have this iconic friendship. So I think it is said that never before or after was there a closer friendship between elves and dwarves than between elves of Eregion and dwarves of Khazad-dûm. This is the season where we need to see this. So this is the season, because Eregion is not going to stick around for a long time. So I hope that Narvi gets a significant role. I hope that they manage to pull off what they did with Durin first season, because Durin was absolutely 11 out of 10. Or to keep the Dwarven reference, 7 out of 6 or something. So yeah, I think they need to give him good screen time and some cool things to do. And we need to see, and not just the two of them. We need to see some background stuff between elves and dwarves working together, because this is it. This is the peak of the friendship between those two peoples. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also kind of afraid that we might not get that. So I'm hoping we will.
So when it comes to these two characters on screen, and we have a good idea of what's going to happen to Celebrimbor later on in the season, and what do we do with Narvi when
That's a
Celebrimbor
good.
does the thing?
That's a good point. Does Navi join the Shishkela Brimbor? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, like, it will be a cool. In a sense, it would be a cool thing. Like, they're gonna, they die together, and spoiler alert.
Oh,
But
sorry. Yeah,
but
can
I
finish
mean,
and then
they
I have something.
could, but I'm not sure. Like, I have no idea. It could be.
Strider, you were getting amped. I'd like to hear what you had to say.
Yeah, I didn't think I would die like this.
That's cool.
Kathy, what about?
I didn't think I would die side by side with an
Side by
elf.
side with
Mhm.
What about side by
yeah,
side with an
that'll be
elf with a friend? So
that'll be a little bit much, but
it
yeah.
would be, but I think that's what from this point onwards, I think that's what's going to happen because that's
Yeah,
it.
that's not a bad bet actually. I'll buy that. Yeah.
Because this is supposed to be a special friendship like
Yeah,
no other, and we already had Elrond and Durin and their friendship in season 1 and how iconic that's been. Kathy, do you think, are you with me that we give them, the two of them, their notebook movie moment where the two of them are clasped hands together as they're both made into a banner at the same time, maybe with like a black banner above it that says finish for the orcs to run through at the end. How do you see the end for them two happening? Do you think because Celebrimbor is not going to be long for the show, do we have to also kill off Narvi?
No, no, absolutely not. I mean, like personally, I want to see dwarf action. I want to see them fight. I mean, like
yeah,
first because I love dwarf fighting. It's grounded. It isn't like elf fighting wire work, which I personally don't like. Like I liked it only in Matrix and nowhere else. Like so. I mean, like I'm not I'm just not a fan of that type of like fighting. But I loved fighting. I loved it in The Hobbit. Like so. I loved what Gimli did. Like so. I want to see it on the show. I don't think that they need to die together. I mean, like, if you ship them, like, yes, of course, like, they can die together, like, if it's going to, like, be more emotional or something. But I don't think it's necessary. And besides, we don't even know, like, what their plan is going to be with that character, like, maybe he will carry over in other seasons, like, we'll see. It's interesting to speculate, like, so yeah. Sorry,
I
just
mean,
one thing. I want to praise that art because I think that Harry commissioned it and we got it so fast, and the likeness of the actors is just amazing, like, so it's really, really good, like, really,
awesome,
really great work. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we'll post
yeah, by
links to
Sticky
their
B
social
wise.
media.
B Bay, Sticky B
Sticky
Bay, I
B
think,
Bay,
yeah,
yeah,
Sticky B Bay, perfect, yeah, fantastic.
not just a good artist, but a really cool person. I've gotten to know them a little bit throughout the years of leading up to the show. One of my favorite Redditors, period, and obviously also a very, very talented artist. And her link will be in
Yes.
the description for people to see that if they want to go check out some other artwork and other things that she's done as well.
Yeah. That does remind me though. I mean, in terms of killing off Navi, the dwarf cast is, I think, the smallest of all the storylines. I mean, they're just 3 people. So,
Yep.
adding a fourth
Wow.
person is not a bad
Wow,
thing.
the deletion
Whereas,
of Gerda and Gamli.
The kids, yeah.
okay, I guess. It's like, oh, yeah, 3 people on the Balrog, I guess. Yeah. Um, um,
Hen, let me ask this, because we have a good idea that the closing episodes of the season are going to be a major battle.
Yes,
Do we
that's
think that, I mean, we talk about what is the timeline look like episode wise for us to be able to get the relationship and build the doors? Obviously, this isn't going to stretch out 8 episodes. This is going to have to happen pretty early in the season, right?
That's a good point. I think it will be at least begun very early in the season. Yeah. Again, I'm just very curious, like if it's done in the same spot as the doors that we already have, that will save them, a setup of like, oh, here's a new wall to crack through or something, it depends. We don't know, but yeah, I guess they'll begin at it pretty early.
Strider, do you think they'll build these just because of the friendship and wanting to do something between the two groups, or do you think maybe something happens to that door that we've already seen and it needs to get replaced?
I mean, the doors of Durin are spiffier.
Yeah, that is a good question. I don't know if something will happen to them. I think it might be like some cool project, or maybe something
Yeah.
happens like in terms of the ground or whatever. But one thing also I'm interested in is, so we just Harry, if you can get the Fellowship of the Ring photo from the Doors of Moria, that'd be cool. So there are supposed to be two trees around the gate, actually,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
were they also in the show? I don't remember that.
No, there are no doors at
Yeah,
the place where they're at
because
now.
that
There are no trees, I mean.
yeah, and that's also supposed to be like a stream, which is actually the
The
stream
the
that
the
turns into this
stream,
lake. So stream
yes, yes, the
is
stream the
nearby.
stream become yeah, the stream becomes blocked and turned into a
Yeah.
lake. That's very true.
So that's the
Yeah, there's
question.
water
Like,
around.
it might be
There
that
are,
it's actually some other doors on another location. Because of that,
that's
it
true.
might be
That's
that
possible,
actually the
yeah.
doors get moved somewhere else because we need the two trees. Because the trees are also, I believe, in a way on the doors themselves.
Yeah, they are, but I feel like the trees would be like, oh, we planted them, like that sort of thing. And the stream, well, yeah, there's water there. So that makes sense. The water thing makes sense. I just don't know. I mean, can you imagine them starting to set up a whole different section of mountain? Oh, let's just do a door here. Like, I'm not
I mean,
sure.
they might, because
They might.
and it's
Possible.
it's
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 perfectly
actually
possible.
relatively easy to set it up, because if we get to see maybe like caravans of dwarves and elves going back and forth, maybe they will just be going through a bigger gate, because this is after all a small gate. So if we are going to see
Yeah,
like a
this is
big
two
bunch of
though,
like
so
carrying supplies and like building material
yeah,
and so on, like you're going to need maybe a bigger gate. So it makes sense maybe that it's somewhere
yeah.
else, or maybe they decide to make a gate specifically for that. There are options. But I hope we get to see, because this is a kind of a pretty big deal in the book as well. Like the two trees and Gandalf and the two trees in general
Yeah,
are a big
they make the shot in a
yeah.
way, yeah.
But also, I mean, the two trees are just a common concept in Tolkien. But
Yes, they
Gandalf does
are.
explain the two trees. They were like the symbol of
It's
Eregion
it's
and so on.
also
And,
it's also a good yeah.
there is the important plot point of the stream
Oh,
is
that's the
that it
back
turns
one.
into
Cool.
the lake, and that's how the water gets out, because something was happening with the stream and so
Yeah.
on around. So yeah,
Yeah, we're not told exactly what, but you're right, yes. At the same time, it will also be doing it in a different part of the mountain would be a nice workaround. I mean,
because they
that
moved.
place,
Yeah.
Earnslow. Yeah, they moved. I mean, the
Okay.
place
Right.
itself, the basis where the door actually is, that's a set. It's not actually an Earnslow burn, but still, it will be a nice workaround to not have to use that bit of New Zealand over and over again in the CGI shots. Maybe they'll find that beneficial. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Bakshi barely had trees, I see. So
No.
Well, we are
they're kind of
approaching
there.
30 minutes here, folks. So we are going to wrap, and hopefully, you guys will join us on Discord shortly after this. There will be a link for it again in the description. We'll probably try to pin one during chat as well for you to be able to just click and join and come talk to us more about this. Shout out again to Sticky Bibe for coming through with the art. One thing that we do operate off of here is trust and being able to go to folks. Sorry about the dog. And ask them to help us with these things, and they don't leak this information out, so we can surprise folks and do cool shows like this and do make these into big events. And again, we are a fellowship of fans. If you guys have any ideas for other cool stuff we can do with the logo, color changes, or just any other future reveals for certain characters, if you've got cool ideas, let us know and we'll make it happen. let's go ahead and sign off. Strider, again, thank you for always being here. It's always a joy to do streams and shows with you. Hopefully, folks are excited for Narvi, Kevin Eldon playing him like I am, and the Doors of Durin.
Yeah, I mean, dude, my honor is mine. I'm just happy I was here to see you nerd out about this. Great job hosting.
Fellow dwarf lover, Hen, appreciate you staying up for us.
Oh yeah, I crashed the party a little bit. It wasn't planned, but it was fun to do, and I like
Turned out
dwarf
perfectly.
stuff, so it's good.
I like dwarves.
Yeah.
It's like that. I like turtles.
Yeah.
Matching outfits, Cathy, my shipping buddy.
Yes, I'm happy to be the blue support for the Doors.
Yes,
So
Team Blue.
yeah,
Team Doors of
Team
Durin.
Blue, absolutely.
We got 2 blues here. Ooh.
Yep. And the guy who made it all happen behind the scenes and put all the different images and text up on the screen so we can do this very smoothly, the boss man, the leader, Harry. Oh, just going to give us a little sign off, not say any words. I like it. The silent leader type. That's what I love. Again, this was the Second Age show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for all the comments. Join us in Discord after this, and let us know if you've got a particular thing that you want us to drop a little scoop on next, and maybe we'll pick that thing. See you guys in Discord. Later.